My wife hated me for all 3 years of our marriage. It was only after I died of cancer that she finally regretted it. She threw the last life jacket to her first love, leaving me to drown in the churning water. Noah Miller, who doesn't know you were the star of the state swim team, she roared. Stop playing dead. She stood on the shore, wrapped in her first love's arms, watching me struggle against the waves. But she'd forgotten. She'd forgotten that I tore my muscles so badly saving her from that car crash years ago that I couldn't swim anymore. Seeing how intimately she held him, I gave up and let myself sink beneath the waves, but she just thought I was throwing a tantrum. Noah, if you're so determined to die, why don't you sign the divorce papers first? It'll save me the trouble of playing the grieving widow. Our friends knew I loved her more than life itself and would never let her go. So when I smoothly handed over the signed divorce papers, they all knew my heart had truly been broken this time. Only Anna scoffed. Fine, a divorce. Just don't come crawling back on your knees, begging me to take you back. She had no idea I was already out of time for regrets. While she was wrapped up in her rekindled flame, I was being diagnosed with terminal cancer. I was dying, and my wife's first love had just returned to the country. Even with a marriage certificate in hand, I, the legal husband, was powerless to stop them from celebrating her birthday together. Noah, you're just a stand-in, so why are you being so petty? Liam hasn't been back in 3 years. Now that he's finally home, what's so wrong with me inviting him to my birthday party? On the deck of the yacht, Anna violently shoved me away to take his hand, her face a mask of disgust. When I just lowered my eyes in silence, she rolled them. Noah, if you're trying to assert some kind of claim on me, get this straight. The birthday gift Liam gave me was a ring he made with his own hands. And you? What kind of garbage did you bring after chasing me all the way out here? In 3 years of marriage, Anna treated me like I was invisible. She'd only seek me out when she needed something. If I tried to talk to her otherwise, she'd just tell me to get lost. I made countless gifts by hand to try and win her affection, but she always looked at them with contempt. But now, she thrust her hand in my face, showing it off with a triumphant smirk. She was so captivated by the ruby ring Liam had set himself that she didn't even notice the state I was in. I stood before her, my body rigid, a cold sweat beating on my forehead. I felt like I could collapse at any second. Anna, I got you a gift too, I said, my voice interrupted by a weak cough. I tried to place the keys to the luxury car she'd always wanted in her hand, but the second her skin made contact with my cold, clammy fingertips, she recoiled. Ugh, disgusting. Noah, what did you just touch? She was furious that I'd tracked her down to the yacht, interrupting her reunion with Liam. With a flick of her wrist, the car keys sailed through the night air in a perfect arc before disappearing into the dark water below. A gift I had planned for 6 months, gone in an instant. I swayed on my feet, barely managing to stay upright. Just then, Liam stepped out of the shadows, a condescending smirk on his face. No, a long time no see. You've really fallen on hard times if you can't even afford a real gift. Had to give her a toy model. He twisted the truth without a second thought. I opened my mouth to defend myself, but Anna was already linking her arm through his. Liam, let's not waste our breath on him. You still haven't sung happy birthday to me. Let's go now. As they turned to go back inside the cabin to cut the cake, the captain burst out from the helm. The hull is breached. We're taking on water. Everyone to the life raft now. In the ensuing chaos, Anna snatched the last remaining life jacket and forced it into Liam's hands. Liam, I remember you can't swim. Put this on quickly. Anna helped Liam into the life raft, her eyes fixed on him. She was so consumed with worry for the man she'd loved for years that she never once glanced back at me, standing alone on the deck of the sinking yacht. The captain, seeing my predicament, tried to reason with her. Ma'am, we're not far from the coast. The raft will get you to safety. But this man has no life jacket and no spot on the raft. He'll most likely die. After the captain spoke, Anna finally seemed to remember I existed. She spared me a single, cold glance. Then let him die. I didn't invite him in the first place. He's the one who insisted on coming here to make trouble. Her voice was laced with anger, as if my very presence as her husband was a source of public shame. Hearing this, Her friend shot me looks of pure mockery, as if I were the world's biggest fool. I remember Noah being a great swimmer. One of them sneered. Wasn't he the state champion back in the day? Another chimed in, oh, that's right. I remember he even hid that love letter Liam wrote to Anna, just so she'd come to his swim meet instead. Yeah, if he hadn't interfered, Anna and Liam would have been together years ago. Their back and forth chatter drowned out any attempt I made to speak. Hearing these old stories reignited the fiery anger in Anna's eyes. She diligently fastened the life jacket on Liam, then cast a dismissive look my way. Noah, you love swimming so much, don't you? Why don't you swim to shore? With that, she ordered the life raft to cast off, looking at me as if I were already a corpse. My lips trembled as I subconsciously called her name. Anna's face was grim. Noah, you could never repay what you owe me, not even in 2 lifetimes. I'm just asking you to stay behind for a bit. That's not too much to ask, is it? Anna didn't know. She didn't know that after the car crash years ago, my muscles had been destroyed from carrying her 3 miles to safety. I couldn't even stretch without my legs convulsing in pain at night, let alone swim. By leaving me here, she had given me a death sentence. Anna, have you forgotten how Liam treated you back then? I screamed, fueled by boundless rage and despair. I wanted to understand why before I died, but Anna just rolled her eyes. You have no right to bring up the past, Noah. If you hadn't faked that recording, I never would have misunderstood him. I met Anna when I was 12. My dad's bicycle had collided with her family's luxury sedan at an intersection. He was desperately trying to figure out how to pay for the repairs when Anna, dressed in a pink and white princess dress, walked right up to me. I'm a princess who just moved to this city, she said sweetly. I need a big brother. Would you be mine? Anna's father adored his daughter. At her request, he agreed to waive the repair costs on one condition. I had to be Anna's companion as she grew up. I became her shadow. We flew kites, made crafts, and I even told her bedtime stories at night. She always called me her brother, and the sound was so sweet, I felt like I would have carved out my own heart and given it to her. That lasted until Anna's 18th birthday party. Liam Carter, who had just returned to the country, smiled as he fastened a diamond necklace around her neck. Anna, you're beautiful. Will you be my girlfriend? I was overcome with rage, wondering where he found the nerve. But Anna's eyes filled with tears as she nodded again and again. Yes, I will. Yes, Liam, I will. The air froze. I stood there like a statue, completely stunned. It took a long moment before I could find my voice. Anna, why? She didn't bother to explain. As she brushed past me, she gave me an amused, dismissive glance. Who I date is none of your business. The bond we'd formed growing up meant nothing to her. I was just a brother, but Liam was her Liam. My head was throbbing. Later, I was smoking in a corner, trying to calm down, when I overheard Liam laughing with his friends. Damn, Liam, you disappear for years and bag Anna the day you get back. Of course. How many girls has he been with overseas? A sheltered girl like Anna is easy. Liam just laughed arrogantly. All right, pay up. Who bet against me? They were gambling with her heart. I couldn't take it. I rushed out to confront Liam, but Anna ran over and shielded him with her body. Noah, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? She screamed, thinking I was the aggressor. In front of everyone, I played the recording of their conversation. Her heart was shattered. For years after that, Anna never spoke to Liam again. But now, here she was screaming at me, utterly convinced that the recording that saved her from him was a fabrication. A bitter laugh escaped my lips as I collapsed to the deck, all the fight gone out of me. Anna turned, planted a soft kiss on Liam's cheek, and apologized sweetly. I'm so sorry, Liam. I misunderstood you all those years ago. Minutes later, Anna and her party made it to shore. Just as the captain had predicted, the life raft was perfectly fine. Liam would have been safe even without the life jacket. After their thrilling ordeal, they stood on the beach, taking photos while they waited for a driver to take them to their hotel. I had let the salt water fill my nose and mouth, flooding my lungs, when a net suddenly enveloped me. The captain hadn't been able to live with himself, leaving a man to die like that. He'd come back and fish me out of the ocean. The moment my feet touched the sand, Anna marched over and slapped me hard across the face. "Noah Miller, everyone knows you were a champion swimmer. Stop playing dead." She wasn't the least bit curious why a former champion would be drowning. She didn't care that I had swallowed gallons of seawater. She just thought I was being dramatic and making a scene. I looked from Liam, not a hair out of place, to my own soaking, pathetic state, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember why I had ever loved this woman. My wife continued her tirade. "Noah, if you want to die so much, sign the divorce papers first. It'll save me the trouble of pretending to mourn you." After 10 years of knowing her and 3 years of marriage, she finally asked for a divorce. I lay paralyzed on the sand, unable to move or speak. Anna's friends were already ushering her away. "Come on, Anna. He loves you too much to ever divorce you. Don't say things like that. You'll give him a heart attack. Yeah, it's your birthday. Let's not let him ruin it." With that, they all piled into a car and drove off, presumably to another party. They left me there on the beach. I watched Anna walk away, counting every step. She never looked back. 32 steps. 10 years, I had devoted my life to her, and she wouldn't even turn around for me once. Only Liam glanced back, a contemptuous sneer on his lips as he mouthed 2 words: "You lose." The near drowning left me with a raging fever. I was in the hospital for 3 days before I could even open my eyes. When I did, the first thing I saw was a news report about Anna and Liam. Rising star Liam Carter and Thompson heiress Anna. Is a wedding next? In the photo, Anna, the woman who only ever scowled at me, was beaming, her eyes crinkling at the corners as she held Liam's hand. In front of them sat an ostentatious bouquet of 999 red roses. If I didn't know for a fact that Anna was severely allergic to pollen, I might have even thought it was romantic. But seeing those roses now, all I felt was a bitter, biting irony. Anna loved Liam, so she cherished the handmade ring he gave her. She loved Liam, so she would endure an allergic reaction just to be near his gift. As for me, it didn't matter what I did. I wasn't Liam, and that was all that mattered. In my 3rd year of marriage, I finally accepted the truth. I was nothing more than a cheap substitute, a placeholder she never once cared for. My despair made my stomach churn. I was hunched over the side of the hospital bed, dry heaving so violently that the nurses rushed in. "Mr. Miller, do you need something for the pain? We know it gets difficult in the later stages." Yes, that was it. That was what I had gone to the yacht to tell Anna on her birthday. I had been diagnosed with cancer. I couldn't grow old with her, but she never gave me the chance to tell her. She just kept telling me to die. And now I was. With the last ounce of my strength, I dialed Anna's number. "Anna, let's get a divorce. I don't love you anymore." I figured with Liam back in the picture, a divorce was inevitable. It was better that I initiated it than to have her throw the papers in my face. I never expected her reaction. She exploded. "Noah, what is that supposed to mean? I celebrate one birthday with Liam, and you want a divorce? How can you be so dramatic?" She was furious, as if she couldn't comprehend that the man who had followed her around like a puppy for 10 years would ever leave her first. I managed a weak smile, swallowing the bitterness in my throat. "Anna, I'm not being dramatic. I'm just sick. I want to die with some dignity." I told her plainly that I was ill. With her family's influence, she could have my medical records in her hands within the hour if she cared to look. But my honesty was met with a scoff. Her tone suddenly became light, as if she'd been expecting this all along. Liam was right. You'll say anything to try and win me back. You want to die, Noah? Then get on with it. It'll save us the mandatory waiting period for the divorce. With that, she hung up, giving me no chance to respond. My time was short anyway. The call exhausted what little energy I had, and I slipped back into unconsciousness, completely unaware that on her end, the party had come to a screeching halt. The friends who had just been pulling Anna onto the dance floor now fell silent, intimidated by her dark expression. "Anna, did you have a fight with Noah?" one asked tentatively. Anna was red-faced with anger, and her friends quickly tried to placate the situation. "Come on, Anna. If he's mad, just say something nice to him. It's not every day you find a husband who would search the country for the best doctors just because his wife was sick. Yeah, Anna, Noah is so devoted to you. All you have to do is wear a pretty dress, and he'll do whatever you want. Don't take him seriously, Anna. He's just jealous about you and Liam. Their reassurances reminded Anna of all the good things I'd done, of how much I loved her. Her anxiety over my divorce request slowly faded, replaced by a contemptuous smile. A divorce? You guys actually believe that? She raised her chin arrogantly. Noah wouldn't dare. If I agreed to it today, he'd be on his knees begging me to take him back within a week. I don't have time for his games. Just then, there was a knock on the door. It was the lawyer I had sent, holding the divorce papers I'd already had drawn up. Miss Thompson, please review the agreement. If there are no issues, you can sign here. Mr. Miller is quite insistent on having this finalized quickly. Anna's smug expression instantly crumbled. She shot up from her seat, pointing a trembling finger at the lawyer. What is the meaning of this? He really wants a divorce. The lawyer simply nodded. The concerned partygoers immediately called Liam. A few minutes later, he arrived, still in his stage outfit from his performance. He walked over to a distraught Anna. Anna, I sang that last song for you. What did you think? Anna stared blankly, speechless. Liam took her hand and pressed it to his lips. Anna, if Noah hadn't gotten away, we would have been together a long time ago. Now that he's finally giving up, shouldn't you be happy? Anna's brow furrowed, a strange wave of anxiety washing over her. Before she could voice her concerns, Liam tilted her chin up and kissed her deeply. Anna, divorce him. Be with me. They were lost in the moment, the air thick with passion. When the kiss ended, Anna glanced around and saw that everyone was watching them, entertained. Gritting her teeth, she signed the papers. She wouldn't let anyone make a fool of her. If Noah wanted to make a scene, fine. But unless he came begging, she would never forgive him. Anna, I'll be waiting. As soon as that divorce is final, we'll get married, Liam promised. On the day we were to finalize the divorce at City Hall, I arrived early. With the cancer in its final stages, every part of my body was in constant pain. I tried to stay out of the wind, but it carried Liam's smug, cruel voice right to my ears. He and Anna got out of a car together, and his face twisted into a sneer when he saw me. Still playing the victim. Noah, look at you. You can't even afford to eat without Anna, can you? You've starved yourself to skin and bones. His voice dripped with scorn. I tried to hold my tongue, but I couldn't stop the sarcastic words from escaping. You're not very picky, are you, Liam? Anna and I aren't even officially divorced yet, and you're already playing the other man. Aren't you worried what your fans will say when they find out? Liam's expression hardened, and Anna frowned at me. Noah, you're the one who wanted this divorce. Why are you making things difficult for Liam? If you hadn't thrown such a fit, we wouldn't be here in the first place. I had protected her for over a decade, and this was my reward. All I did was state the facts. She defended her first love, and I could only offer a bitter smile in return. I hadn't wanted to say it, but seeing them together, so in love, I couldn't stop myself. Anna, you wanna know why I asked for a divorce? It's because I'm dying. I gave her a weak smile. I have cancer. I don't have much time left. This wasn't the first time I told her, but she still stared, stunned. Noah, that's not a funny joke. I cut her off. Anna, I know it's a grim request, but when I'm gone, could you have my ashes buried? I can't swim anymore. The ocean isn't for me. It's my last wish. For the sake of the years I was your brother, can you promise me that? Anna stared at me in disbelief, then grabbed my arm. Noah, are you sure you're sick? We were supposed to be finalizing our divorce, but instead, she was dragging me to her car. You better be telling the truth, Noah, because if you're not, I'll kill you myself. She dragged me to the hospital and demanded the best doctors run a full examination. Half an hour later, Liam, whom she had abandoned at City Hall, showed up, his face a thundercloud. At that exact moment, the doctor returned with my test results. The elderly doctor pushed his glasses up his nose, exchanged a subtle glance with Liam, and then said grimly, Ms. Thompson, Mr. Miller is in perfect health. There's nothing wrong with him. His claims of dying must be fabricated. The room fell silent. Ignoring the pain racking my body, I lunged for the report in the doctor's hand. What are you talking about? I am sick. Before I could reach it, Liam charged out of the corner and punched me square in the jaw. Is this the only way you know how to get attention, Noah? With disgusting tricks? He roared, grabbing me by the collar. You did this on purpose to make Anna worry, didn't you? You knew she'd be concerned, and you lied to her anyway. Are you heartless?" His fists rained down on my face until it was a bloody mess. I struggled to open my swollen eyes and look at Anna. My voice was barely a whisper. "Do you believe me, Anna? During all the years Liam was gone, I was the one who cooked her meals, who picked her up from work, who protected her from creeps in dark alleys. We had been through so much together. She had to know I wouldn't lie about something like this. Even then, I still held onto a final shred of hope. But Anna just snorted and looked away in disgust. "Noah, garbage like you is just a waste of space. I don't care if you're sick or not. Just do us all a favor and die." The marriage certificate was replaced with a divorce certificate. As I walked out of City Hall, it felt like every bone in my body had shattered. The cancer had spread everywhere. Every step sent a fresh wave of cold sweat dripping down my back, to say nothing of the pain from the fresh bruises Liam had given me. I staggered down the street, drawing concerned glances from strangers, but Anna didn't seem to see me at all. She shoved the divorce certificate into Liam's triumphant hands, then sped away with him, leaving me in a cloud of exhaust fumes. Childhood companionship, teenage infatuation, marital indifference, and now, final abandonment. The pain made the memories flicker in and out of focus. In the last second before I lost consciousness, a single memory surfaced, the day Anna proposed to me. It was 2 years after Liam had left the country. I was working myself to the bone, pulling endless overtime to help the Thompson family expand their business. One night, a very drunk Anna stumbled into my room. She pulled off her own dress and then started tearing at my shirt. "Noah, do you want me? Why aren't you looking at me?" I blushed furiously and got up to get her some water. The second I came back, she pulled me down into a chair by my tie. She wrapped her arms around my neck and settled onto my lap, her skin luminous in the moonlight. "Noah, you said you love me, that you want me." My heart hammered in my chest. I was afraid she thought I was someone else. "Anna, you're drunk. Let's talk about this tomorrow." Before I could finish, her lips were on mine. "Noah, I know who you are. I'm not mistaken. I want you. Do you want me?" We came together like a wildfire. Anna was unbelievably forward, and every time I tried to ask her what she was thinking, she brushed me off. We spent the entire night together. She made me a man, and for one night, she was completely mine. When she sobered up the next morning, she stared blankly at the messy room. I thought she regretted it. But then, she tossed a document at me. It was a prenup. "Sign it, Noah. We're getting married this afternoon." The agreement stated that in the event of a divorce, I would not be entitled to a single penny of the Thompson family fortune. Because I loved her, I signed it without hesitation. We moved in together, got engaged, and were married. Then, one day I happened to see Liam's Instagram. He had posted a picture of himself with another celebrity, and the comments were full of people saying how perfect they were for each other. Liam never denied it. I suspected seeing that post was what drove Anna to come to me that night, but I never had the courage to ask her for sure. I believed that, given enough time, I could melt her icy heart. I was patient. 6 months after we were married, Anna had a huge fight with her father. She took off in her car and ended up crashing it on a remote mountain road. Her father couldn't find her, and the stress caused him to have a stroke. The whole situation was a disaster. I was the one who searched the entire city for her. I found her on that mountain, where there was no cell service, and carried her all the way down. With Anna injured and her father hospitalized, the Thompson family business was in chaos. When Anna woke up and learned that I had not only saved her, but also stabilized the company that the shareholders were about to tear apart, the way she looked at me changed. I thought it was love. Now I realize it was probably just guilt. For all these years, no matter what I did for her, in her eyes, I was nothing more than the collateral for my father's debt. A piece of trash she didn't value, but was confident would never leave her side. I blinked weakly, my body racked with pain. I pulled the divorce certificate from my pocket and stared at it. "I am sorry, Anna. I promised to be your brother, but I couldn't stop myself from falling in love with you. Maybe this cancer is my punishment. Your brother is dying now. You must be so happy." Blood gushed from my mouth. I clutched the certificate in my hand as the world went black. My body, already ravaged by late-stage cancer, couldn't take the beating. I collapsed and my heart stopped. An ambulance rushed me to the hospital, where they tried to save me. For 10 days they fought, but in the end, my life slipped away. After I died, my soul drifted up into the air. The doctors, unable to revive me, found my divorce certificate. They sighed as they read the name next to mine. Anna. The deceased's ex-wife is Anna. Contact her. Ask her to come and handle the arrangements. They were asking Anna to claim my body. I tried desperately to stop them, but my ghostly hands passed right through the phone. I floated there, helpless, as they scrolled through my contacts and found the entry I hadn't yet had the heart to change. Wife. The phone rang several times before Anna answered impatiently. She had chartered a private jet to take Liam to a private island for a vacation, determined to teach me a lesson. We're divorced, Noah. What do you want? She said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Want me back? You'll have to get on your knees and beg. Her arrogant tone stunned the nurse on the other end. After a moment, she replied coldly, Ms. Thompson, Mr. Miller has passed away. As his next of kin, if you are unable to handle the arrangements, could you please provide contact information for another family member? There was a stunned silence on the other end, followed by a derisive laugh. How much did he pay you to go along with this little drama? Tell him to cut it out. I'll triple whatever he's offering. Her attitude was so appalling that the nurse simply hung up and sent her a photo instead. It was a photo of my body covered by a white sheet. Only my left hand was visible, sticking out from under the sheet. On my wrist was the only gift Anna had ever given me, a simple red string bracelet that had come free with a purchase she'd made years ago. Anna still didn't believe it, but the prank was elaborate enough to infuriate her. She left Liam on the island and took the next red-eye flight back. The woman who always had to look perfect now stood by my bedside, intending to expose my scheme, looking utterly haggard. Noah, get up, she commanded. Do you think this is funny? She was screaming, but her fingers were trembling so badly she couldn't even find the courage to lift the sheet and look at my face. Refusing to believe I was really dead, she tentatively reached out and touched my hand. The icy cold of my skin made her recoil as if she'd been burned. She stumbled backward and fled the room in a panic, so distraught that she didn't even see my best friend, Mason, walking toward her. How can Noah be dead? It has to be a lie, doesn't it? She muttered to herself, huddled in a corner. When Mason saw her, he was overcome with rage. He yanked her out of the corner. Anna, what are you doing here? Get out. Get the hell out of here now. You have no right to be here after what you did to him. Mason was my oldest and closest friend. He'd always supported me in everything, except my relationship with Anna. Seeing her now, his eyes burned with rage. He felt my pain and my injustice. He physically threw her out of the hospital and spat on the ground where she'd stood. Anna, he's dead. What good are your tears now? He yelled after her. Noah loved you so much, and you treated him like garbage, like a stand-in for Liam. You don't deserve to even look at his body. Anna had been treated like a princess her whole life. No one had ever spoken to her like that. Tears streamed down her face like pearls. She shook her head violently, her voice choked with regret. No, you're lying. Noah isn't dead. He's just mad at me. He's at home waiting for me. He has to be. With that, she scrambled to her feet, hailed a cab, and rushed to our home. But when she opened the door, she wasn't greeted by the smell of a home-cooked meal, but by the overwhelming stench of rotting food. Anna froze in the doorway. Her eyes scanned the table, taking in the plates that had once held a celebratory meal and the moldy birthday cake sitting in the center. She slowly realized how much I had been looking forward to celebrating with her. We had celebrated so many of her birthdays together. If Liam hadn't come back, we would have celebrated this one too. Her one decision had cost her the last birthday I would ever be able to share with her. She clutched her chest in anguish. Then she saw it. The doctor's report, lying on the corner of the table. Noah Miller, terminal stomach cancer. Immediate hospitalization required. Patient also presents with severe, chronic muscle damage, which will significantly impede mobility. Careful monitoring is advised. Anna's eyes turned bloodshot as she read the words. It all came rushing back to her. That night after the crash, I had found her and carried her down the mountain. She remembered the doctor at the hospital telling her, with a regretful tone, "Mr. Miller has sustained severe muscle damage. He'll never be able to participate in strenuous activities like running, climbing, or swimming again." Anna had heard the doctor's words loud and clear. But the moment Liam reappeared in her life, she had conveniently forgotten all the pain I had endured for her. How much despair must I have felt in that moment she left me to die on the yacht? Now, finally, she understood. She looked at our only wedding photo, guilt twisting her features, and broke down into racking sobs. Then, she picked up the rotten, maggot-infested cake from the table and began stuffing it into her mouth. I had spent an entire afternoon baking that cake for her. Back then, her world revolved around the newly returned Liam. She had run to that yacht just to get away from me. Now that I was dead, she finally remembered my love. Ignoring the repulsive taste, Anna forced down the last thing I would ever make for her. I floated above, watching her agony, and sighed. "Oh, Anna, why did you have to lose me to finally understand what you had?" The rotten cake landed her in the hospital with violent food poisoning. When Liam found her there, her once stunning beauty was so diminished that he stared for a long moment before approaching her with a look of disgust. "Anna, what happened to you? You look terrible." His revulsion was plain on his face, but Anna didn't even notice. She just clutched a photo of me to her chest, refusing to look at him. "Anna, this is the second time you've abandoned me for Noah. Don't you think you owe me an explanation?" Liam kept talking, but when Anna remained lost in her own world, he shook her impatiently. "Anna, Noah is dead. There's no one left to run your family's company. You've embarrassed me twice now for that worthless substitute. The least you can do is give me the company as compensation." Liam and Anna had been neighbors for over a decade. Back then, his family had been wealthy, and the two had a lot in common. But then his father got into legal trouble, and his mother took him abroad. By the time he returned, the Carter family fortune was gone. Otherwise, a man with his pride would never have stooped to becoming a celebrity. His financial situation was precarious. I had tried to warn Anna about it shortly after he returned, but she had just stared at me with icy contempt. "Noah, you're nothing but a dog the Thompson family took in. Who are you to give me advice?" I had worked tirelessly for her family's company, tripling their profits during my time there, only to be called their dog. Now that I was dead, none of it mattered anymore. If Anna wanted to hand the company over to Liam, so be it. I no longer loved her. Nothing she did could hurt me anymore. 15 days after my death, Mason organized a memorial service for me. Many of my former colleagues from the Thompson Corporation came to pay their respects. They stood before my portrait for a long time, sighing over my tragic story with Anna. "Mr. Miller deserved so much better," they whispered. "How could someone treat such a good man so poorly? Ms. Thompson never appreciated what she had. Where will she ever find another husband as devoted as him?" Their tears and sighs filled the room. Even Chloe, Anna's best friend who had often insulted me, couldn't bring herself to meet the eyes of my portrait. "Noah, why did you waste so much time on the wrong person?" she murmured, hot tears streaming down her face. "There are other women in the world. She misunderstood you, hurt you, and never saw your worth. Why did you keep loving her?" As I floated there, listening to her, I slowly realized that Chloe, the woman who had always warned me to stay away from Anna, had been in love with me all along. "Chloe, what are you talking about?" A ghostly pale Anna, her allergies clearly acting up from all the flowers, suddenly appeared behind her. "You said I misunderstood, Noah. What did I misunderstand? Tell me." It was like we were all transported back to Anna's 18th birthday party. Chloe turned from my portrait and sneered at Anna. "You really don't know? You were married for 3 years. Did you never once talk about the past?" Chloe's eyes were cold as ice. She looked at Anna as if she were her mortal enemy. Anna, unnerved by her stare, shot back defensively. "What are you talking about, Chloe? Noah was my husband. Our life was none of your business." Chloe laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "He was your husband, but did you ever trust him? You treated him like a placeholder, like trash. He recorded Liam's true intentions with his own hands to save you from getting hurt. And what did you do? You accused him of faking it. Well, let me tell you something, Anna. That recording was real. Liam's confession was part of a bet with his friends. He never wrote you a single love letter. And that diamond necklace? It was a cheap fake. I heard everything they said about you in the backyard that day. Not just Noah. I just wasn't stupid enough to go out there and get into a fight for you. Chloe's words hit Anna like a physical blow. She stood there, stunned.